It's hard to feel anything colorful. They say when they drool a lot, that's usually when
one night, 2 nights in a row.
Because he's going sis.
She has to take it 7 nights.
No.
I didn't think so, okay.
That's my first.
I really want to know what happened.
That's my first draft.
Yeah.
I wrote it. I didn't like go back and edit
It's
it.
serious stuff that fill in
And
there.
it's not finished yet because I
he's
still need
been
like
turning over
2
like
paragraphs or
once
so to
in a
write.
while.
When I went to school with him, I mean, he's in the rock quarry and stuff, not stopping.
Look how he's watching them.
You'll consult with him on
First,
this
I
essay?
thought the idea was how you saw someone got hurt, and you always
Okay,
take
thanks.
for granted, and you thought people can get hurt doing simple things, but then it changed, which is good, because in the beginning, you started, you're trying to guess where the person
Well,
was.
that's great, thank you.
And then it turned into,
He was smoking that beer. He drank.
Don't take that ugly kick, and you take
but it
me.
seemed that the point turned into that after his accident.
Blair, watch it, Blair.
You were able to get closer. So, it's gonna be
Did you see this guy a year from now? A year from now, he'll be running up and down the stairs.
I'd like to see how it turns out.
Wait, just get Blair.
You have better taste than
Jeff
me.
kind of wants
Like
to
your
go
arthritis?
Yeah.
You take Tylenol?
No, I have a pill.
Oh, 'cause I had to take a
Oh, no.
fingers.
I can't.
I rub it.
Oh, you have
But
to.
the thing is, you can't get into
Oh.
writing too much
I rub
about
it in the middle of my
the kid. That's what it's
fingers.
becoming.
No, you have beautiful hair.
Oh, I'm
No,
so
it's not.
I told you.
No.
And it helps in the time.
Oh, I take Tylenol.
Oh, that's,
I
no,
know,
I have
that's
Arthritis.
That's why it's
I'm
attractive.
killed
It's
for
not
stuff
right.
again.
Yeah,
It's
but
right.
I take the arthritis and it helps.
Goes right to the heart.
Find me
Terrible. Look at that, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Danielle. Oh, is she beautiful?
Oh, she looks gorgeous.
She knows?
How's she doing? I heard all about her.
Oh, Karen and John, announcement. Karen and John are leaving on Wednesday for a year. They're going around the world, and I will be watching the baby. How much fun would I have, Karen? How much fun would I have?
No, I have, I took my. Do you want me, you want to put it on your leg? No, I have my heat, it passes.
I have that too, Mom. I know what I do. I write it down.
Do you want me? No, I'm fine.
My life.
Steven?
Oh, he said yes. He said, my life will never be the same.
He's on the computer?
My neck keeps my neck warm. Terrible. I can't get warmed up here.
See you later, whatever. Oh,
They can name any amount, big deal, you know what the salary? Everybody got $12, I got big money, I was in charge, I got $13 a week. So I had to take, we're talking about sex, in those years, that's what it was. Telling you, your grandma went for the job, she's sitting on the chair, she says, what do I do after the third day? She says, no, don't, he says, you're doing fine.
There's a movie coming out soon, I think it's about the woman who filed the first sexual harassment suit.
And at that time,
Yeah, I saw it coming out.
Yeah, it's interesting.
and at that time I was keeping company, and they found out that I was
Just not the
going
way they
to
used
have
to
to
be.
be an attorney. And so
How much
I
we don't
told
know.
them my father wanted to kill.
How much I don't know.
So in those years, don't forget,
Things
at
are
the
already,
age
a
of
lot
was
of
going
change,
back, a
started
lot
to
of
change when I
changes.
became aware of it.
I told family already, I was there so many years. Come a long way. Let it go, just let it go someplace else. Those were the years, the days.
That's what they did.
They didn't have that kind of money.
Yeah. God, your grandmother, your mother was position, what do you call, promoted for it 50,000 times. So was I. That was the thing, I went to work for $1 a day during Depression. Such a hard job. At the end of the day, I got dressed to go home. It was so hot, no air conditioner, hot oven. Friend took me. The boss says, I'm going out, he's going with me. He says, where'd he go? I said, I'm going to the subway. He says, no, you're not, you'll go with me. I says, get away from me. He says, don't come back tomorrow for $1 a day. Don't come back tomorrow. That was the years.
Yeah,
Today, thank God, it's cleaned up, and you don't hear of those things.
No,
But it
get
wasn't
sexual
only me or your grandma, that was the time, especially Depression. But of course, you had nothing had to happen. It wasn't like today, you never heard of such a thing as rape.
You never heard of rape then?
No.
Really? That's interesting.
There must have been plenty of rape, they didn't know the word rape. There must have been plenty of force,
They didn't report it.
Who's gonna
but they
complain
didn't
if
know
they
the
have
word
shame?
rape.
That's right, that's true.
And they used to blame the woman. There was a court case where they defended the rapist by asking the woman what she was wearing when it happened.
Oh, is that always
She had a
happening?
mini skirt, and they're like, you know, she was
Well,
wearing a
you were
mini
in a
skirt.
miniskirt.
It
But
was
she
a
asked-
different, a completely different world. Forget your grandma and I are old. And we go back before the Second World War. And especially when the Second World War came, it was horrible. There was such depression. You couldn't get a job, you couldn't get, they stay in the street for a nickel an apple. Guys that had all sorts of money on Wall Street, and a nickel an apple to sell. A bar of candy was a penny. You didn't, when I walk in the street, I see penny after penny, who nobody bends down to
I do.
pick
I
them
still
up.
do.
I asked somebody I know. I said, what do you do with your pennies? Just throw them away.
Oh, I don't throw my pennies
I
away.
don't throw them away. I'm telling you what you answer. Somebody, a good relation. I said, what do you do with your pennies? Just throw them away. They're worthless. And when I walk in the street, do you see them too like that? Loaded.
All of the time.
But in those days, for a penny, you got a bar of chocolate, you got a cigarette. Your grandma was never a big smoker, and she never wanted to buy a pack. She wasn't that kind of a smoker. She didn't have to smoke at all. She used to fight with me, and I used to fight
She
her
said
back
she
and
used to
tell her.
smoke.
Yes,
Because I felt guilty that I am, and she used to worry I'm smoking. So I used to say, what are you, jealous? Because you're not smoking. She would buy 2 cigarettes for 2 cents because they sold it, opened the pack and sold you a cigarette. Today, who can afford cigarettes? It's almost $5 a pack.
Amazing.
Who can afford cigarettes?
Didn't my grandma used to smoke? She said she used to smoke.
She smoked a lot.
So it was a completely different world.
Did you smoke?
I smoked like 2 packs a day.
Ooh,
I
for how many
only
years?
How many years? About 60 years, maybe more. I only gave it up. As a matter of fact, when I gave it up, Joan, Larry's wife, went to a hypnotist. Doctor told her she shouldn't. I never asked the doctor, and if he told me, I do as I want anyway. I belong to this family. He's going to tell him what to do, Larry. If Larry says he's going to sleep, I can't change him. And neither can I change him. And neither can I change my husband. There's certain people like
you
that.
can't change.